Hello and welcome back to Popcorn and Plot Holes. This week, not only have I got the title correct of the show, we're watching a television show. Did anybody else want to interrupt me before I?
No, we're not interrupting you.
Okay, thank you.
We're supporting.
That's because you call us.
Shut up and do the intro, damn it!
Because you call us supporting doesn't mean I feel supported. As you can hear, Chris from Parts Unknown is back from other Parts Unknown.
That's how I like it.
Back from the future, one would say.
I know.
Yeah, did you get my
I
message?
don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you.
What the fuck?
Oh no!
I spent all this money.
We're on a different timeline. This is bad.
Yeah.
Oh no, the timelines
Don't you
are
know
branching.
that when you time travel, you create a new branch of time?
Yeah.
So you're on the original branch of time where you never showed up on our podcast, and the one where you showed up on the podcast, that's a completely different timeline.
Oh, no.
So we're never going to find out about that one.
This
We're
is
just
a great
stuck here.
prelude.
I've learned
to-
nothing from all my years as a comic book reader and movie enthusiast relating to time travel and TV show enthusiast, specifically Doctor Who. No!
But also
He almost
confused.
died. No.
He almost died. That's why he was all dusty when he came back. Confusingly enough, we are actually watching Doctor Who: The Star Beast. So figure that one out.
Nice.
It worked! Yes!
It's a convergence of timelines.
It worked out really well for everybody. Spencer is gone to Parts Unknown. So I think we had to trade his body for Chris's. I think that's how time travel works.
Yeah. Also, think of all the losses we could have had. This is, relatively minor one.
Yeah, that's fair.
So we saved people. The message saved lives. I like to think about it.
It's neutral. It's carbon neutral.
What?
That's how.
The value of? Are you saying my life is equal to Spencer's
When you
life?
say it like that, it sounds
That's
gross.
bad. Yeah.
I'm sorry, Chris. What? Let's just talk about this TV show and forget
Also,
we got down
I'm
this
here.
timeline.
I wasn't introduced. Apparently, I don't deserve one. But,
So that guy's here, whatever his name is. Doctor Who: The Star Beast. Some of us on this podcast currently are really big Doctor Who fans, and others of us have never seen an episode.
Well, now I have seen one.
I have only seen one episode.
Nice save.
Yeah, I'm a professional. So let's dive into it. Normally, when we watch a movie, we ask a very simple question: what did you like about this movie? So, what did you like about this special episode? Luciano, why don't you go first?
There's a lot to like. It's very, as someone who prior to this had never even seen anything Doctor Who related. It's a very charming show, I have to say. But then again, the British know what they're doing in that sense. But I think if I had to pick, I think my favorite thing was a very small thing because it's such a good, concise example of British humor is when the Doctor is talking to Donna's husband and he shows his credentials or whatever the fuck it's called.
Psychic paper.
That's the one. And he says, I'm the Grand Master of Knowledge. And the guy looks and says, that says Grand Mistress. And he looks and with the driest fucking delivery ever, he goes, oh, catch up, and slaps it. I was like, I don't know why, but for some reason that just made the whole show for me. Just the dryness of the humor there. The humor in all of this was really fun. So that was probably my favorite thing, is how British it is.
I mean, that was quintessential Doctor Who wrapped up in the dry British humor, right? That's exactly how to do it. Yeah, no, it was a great way to just enjoy David Tennant being back in the role, because the 10th Doctor was always quirky and sort of excited and kind of manic at times, and so that fits him to a T. I got to say though, and this is maybe not fair and not necessarily positive, but good God, does David Tennant look old in comparison to seeing him as the 10th Doctor? You forget how much time.
It was 15 years ago, apparently.
Yeah, I was going to say 18 years, right?
Yeah, which is huge, right?
Yeah.
He's still him. I mean, what do you expect? At least he didn't. It doesn't look like he's been injecting himself with Botox. Thank God. That would just make it harder. That would just make it so much. Can you imagine if Courtney Cox was a doctor, and then like you got Courtney Cox from Friends era when she decided to do a special, or like they did like a female doctor, and then cut to now.
Yeah, so but you're being unfair because that was 30 years ago.
So
you came onto this Doctor Who podcast and you just fucking dragged Courtney Cox through the mud.
Yeah, see, this is what happens when he inhabits Spencer's body. He inherits Incel Spencer too.
Yeah.
No, that's not Incel.
Incel Chris.
Bad choices.
Bad choices.
Get good work. Get good work.
Where's the hose?
Get good work.
Where's the hose?
Maybe she shouldn't feel like she needs to have work because of the pressures of Hollywood.
See?
So what happened to? We can unpack this.
We can unpack this.
No, this is not about Friends or Courtney Cox. What's wrong with you?
Listen. I told you.
We moved past.
My statement stands.
We moved past supporting the patriarchy. Luciano got it out of his system, and now you need to get it out of your system too.
The fuck did I do?
Has nothing to do with the patriarchy. That's right. That's what you did. You're complicit.
Doctor Who. Good things about Doctor Who.
I liked I liked the new abilities of his sonic screwdriver. Like, yes, it does everything it did standard, but I also like how you can use it as his like freaking Jarvis in a way, like able to check out schematics.
Yeah, that's fair.
Well,
yeah, you're right.
Yeah, like checking out schematics, assessing scenarios, and then now creating Green Lantern like hard light constructs.
Oh, so that's
with that like
that's
shield.
New? I didn't. Okay.
To me, I think that's new.
Okay.
Creating hard light constructs. So that was pretty cool. I liked that, and I was really happy. I was happy with the special. Was this like it's the 60th anniversary? Is this his first episode back?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I thought when my impression going into this was like it was already going, but okay, cool.
What about you, Matt? What was your favorite part? The fact that David Tennant is old? Is that your favorite part?
Yeah.
Oh my god,
that's great. Honestly, it just
liposuction. Who was his old doctor?
No, I missed. I just missed the idea that you can have this sort of Doctor Who special where London's in peril and the Doctor can save it in a way that makes no sense whatsoever.
Oh, you did get that. Yeah.
Like that to me is just, it's a warm and fuzzy feeling having that happen. And I understand that all the doctors do this, but seeing him come back and just fall into, like, you know, he talks about, oh, what's this face back? What's going on? But he just shows up and does the same thing he always does because someone's like, of course the ship had to land in London, and of course the ship is going to destroy London, and of course he saves everybody in London and no one gets a scratch on their head. You know, like,
Tennant Doctor.
Yeah, that's how, you know, David Tennant was always. It's just you seeing him play this, you know, as much as he's like, oh, I have a new face, but it's like the personality's back in a way that, like, I nothing against the other doctors. I would actually say my doctor is Smith and not Tennant, just because that's where I started. And you get stuck to the person you start with. I think if you pick a doctor, and obviously one episode, I don't think that's gonna, Luciano, if you continue forward, I don't think Tennant will be your doctor just because you watch one episode, but because I watched all of Matt Smith, and then once I finished watching Matt Smith, then I went back and watched Ecclestone and Tennant. I was tied to Smith more, and so
you always remember your first.
Well, I think if I do go and watch it, which I think is a very unlikely possibility. Just because there's so much.
Oh my god!
Wow!
Not because I didn't.
We haven't converted.
Not because I didn't like it, but because Anyway, but I just like David Tennant as an actor, so that would probably be why I would pick him as my favorite.
I mean, like that's why in the modern Doctor Who, he's sort of the number one of. If you did a poll of all the from Ecclestone forward, he still would be the person people love the most. And that's not to say that having Peter Capaldi or having Jodie Whittaker, they are very different people and brought very different things to the Doctor. And so there's going to be people that identify with them, just like when Chris, can you say his name properly because I always struggle to.
Ncuti Gatwa.
Ncuti Gatwa shows up. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people identify with him as being their Doctor. It'll be interesting. to see how that goes. So if you like the way he acts already, because Tennant's been in a lot of stuff, that certainly helps. I got to be honest with you, like I haven't watched a whole lot of Matt Smith stuff after him being the Doctor because he picked some weird projects, and I'm just not.
Oh, we watched one thing with Matt Smith.
Well, he was a genius in that one.
Morbius.
Anyways, that might prove my point.
Echolocate that shit out of my face.
Yeah.
Hey.
But yeah, so I mean, it was nice to get back to Tennant's shoes and see him operate. You don't ever get a chance to really go back to a Doctor, and so it was nice to go back and kind of let him be updated and have all the memories of the people we've all seen, and see how they're going to take that. It's 3 episodes, I think, in total, and this one was essentially a standalone. This is we're going to spoil the shit out of this, by the way. So I know this is brand new, or it'll be like a week since, maybe a week or two since when you listen to this. But if you haven't watched it, definitely watch it first because we're going to blow everything out of the water in terms of the story. But it's a standalone story, but the ending has Donna, quote unquote, accidentally spilling coffee on the TARDIS, and David Tennant saying the definitely real scientific words, "We could end up anywhere in space and time." So they're going to continue on for 2 more episodes. Whether they will be hard connected on the next 1 or 2, no one knows yet.
Yeah.
Did this episode, in terms of like Tennant's been? He's like, did this special just air, or how long has it been out?
Do you not pay attention to society?
He literally just said it, Chris. Like, this is way too much Spencer in you.
Yeah,
you need to kind of tone it down a little.
His essence is permeating.
Yeah. Next thing we're gonna say is, Chris, did you watch this episode?
Did you watch this episode, Chris?
I've seen it before. In my
actually, that's pretty good. Actually,
what is time?
Can you
guys? Am I
can
right?
you do accents that slowly evolve into
Michael
Gollum
Caine
or Michael Caine
or Gollum?
Each of those impressions are terrible. So when you
he went to a completely different one too.
Just like Spencer.
Yeah.
Just like Spencer. It's like,
perfect.
I am Alan Rickman.
Perfect. Let's move on and get back to Doctor Who. We've taken enough time on Spencer. Yep. So, this story, the standalone story is roughly that he lands on London, kind of Christmassy. The specials are Christmas time, and they generally tie into Christmas or New Year. So, and he, ironically enough, sees a lady with too many packages. Everybody knows it's going to be Donna Noble. It clearly is Donna Noble. And so, listen, were you? Because I actually don't remember, because I knew this, but did they explain it enough for you to understand Donna Noble's backstory and why he couldn't?
Yeah, the Doctor does right at the beginning.
Yeah.
No, that was a pretty good, solid recap of it. So, she saved the world by taking a Time Lord's mind into her, and then it was too much for one human to bear, so he had to make her forget.
Yep.
And then he went away, and then I'm assuming Matt Smith came, afterwards.
Basically, he went on some adventures by himself for a bit.
Ah, gotcha.
But yeah. And then he regenerated. Her dad helped him along the way, quote unquote. Her grandfather.
Her grandfather, yeah. So yeah, it was a pretty solid, it gave me enough to understand the stakes. So that was good.
Right.
What I wasn't ready for was for Donna Noble to be Catherine Tate.
Oh, all right.
Because I hate her.
Why?
What does that
Why
mean?
do you hate her? What's the word for? Because I know why you hate her. What's the word for gingers aren't a race, but what's the word for gingers? Hating gingers.
Just scum.
What?
Wow.
No! Boo this man!
Boo this man indeed.
Boo this man!
However, unlike the reason I don't like you, Matt.
Wow.
Her, I don't like. It's not about her being a ginger. So this requires a little bit of explanation. My one and only contact with Catherine Tate before watching this was watching her on 8 out of 10 Cats Does Countdown, not understanding how to use 99 and the number 99 and the number 2 to make 101. So
no, thank you.
That was the only thing I knew of her. And the character, when he talks about her in that recap, is like, oh, she's like this altruistic person who's like a great friend to him, and she's just fucking insufferable in this the whole time. I understand you guys probably have some like emotional connection with the character from when she played it before. I just fucking hated her.
The thing time is, I liked her, but she also was at times insufferable.
Okay,
so
it's not just me.
Plus one,
like,
and it was different. But go ahead, you go ahead.
Because it's like,
I would say, go ahead.
It's like
I can go ahead.
I don't. I'm supposed to like her, right? Because she saved the world and she's the Doctor's best friend. We're gonna get into this later. Because as I understood it, he had many friends, but apparently she's the best one. And and then
we got a word for that in the streets.
Yes.
Wow.
Scum? And then no, we've established yours scum, not her.
Oh
my God! Stop fighting, mom and dad.
So I'm supposed to like her, but I just couldn't. Right, and it's just I have to say she has a couple of nice moments that made me laugh because she's funny. But like there's when she says to him, skinny suits don't work over the age of 35. I like that. That was very funny.
Yeah.
But the thing that she said that made me laugh the most was when she calls the Meep Mad Paddington. That got a solid laugh out of me. And but I couldn't like her. Like I couldn't, like, he was like, oh, she's gonna die, she's my best friend. I'm like, yeah, fucking die, I don't care.
Wow.
So
all right.
Anyway,
for me it was like I did kind of, it was a lot. Like I know and remember Donna. A lot of time has passed, and it was quite a lot having her just like come in full force. And
did she replay the character like pretty similar to what she used to play?
Used to? Yes, she did. However, I enjoyed it more then because
you were a young man and you didn't know any better.
No, I think it came down to like the situations.
Oh, gotcha.
She was exposed to like weird alien situations or like the unexplained until it became explained, and every step of the way she's speaking what's on her mind, but it makes sense because she's exposed to it. But then like the way they delivered her in this first intro scene for her, like she doesn't even get to see
the spaceship, the
alien spaceship, which I thought was a weird choice, because if she had seen it, she could have, I think it would have been more respectful of, I don't know, I guess it's just a choice. Either she doesn't observe it and this is what happened, or if she did observe it, then like it's not the Doctor. So like what is the, like, pick a side, universe. Are you gonna like treat her like a everyday bystander, or are you gonna just like drag it out because this TV show, this episode?
Yeah, I mean
that's fair.
And the challenge is, it's hard to believe that seeing a spaceship would trigger her into remembering being a Doctor, because like London, the Doctor Who is supposed to be like essentially a mirror of our universe, and all the things that happen in Doctor Who, they talk about them, right? So historically, if London's attacked or aliens come to the Earth, everybody knows about it, and it gets a reference peppered throughout the show. So it's not like things always go back together perfectly, right? Like there's episodes where like aliens take over, like land in London, they take over, and then like the Cybermen try to take over all London, and he saves the day and stuff. But so the idea that like she's never heard of science fiction, and she's never seen like people go to space, like in the real world, or like aliens come, like they've already like her forgetting isn't like she forgets everything. It's just like she forgets all of her time with the Doctor, basically, right? So it's just a weird thing to be like, can't see spaceships, can't see anything to do with science fiction at all. Is a bit far.
Her mom is like, I understand the despair of thinking your daughter is going to die if she remembers, but like her way of going about it was so annoying. Like, no, none of this is real. Stop! You're not seeing anything. It's like, come on. Like now,
but by that point, it was too far gone, and the mother was desperate.
Yeah, but
at that point,
that
was
was
slapping like Doctor, like great, okay, like, get the fuck out, not losing my child. Makes sense.
That was a good scene too. Like, here we go again.
Right. But if you rewind to the same opening like Christmas market scene, and the spaceship descends or crash lands or what descends, and Rose sees the space. Every fucking buddy sees the spaceship. Rose tells her mom, "Look at this. Why wouldn't you look at your child? Why wouldn't you listen to your like teenage adult whatever child? Why wouldn't you listen?
Yeah. Why wouldn't you listen to your daughter
Yeah.
who's between the ages of 15 and 25?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Probably. Well, and like her mom has always been unsufferable. Like as much as you think Catherine Tate's unsufferable, her mom was 10 times worse.
Oh,
Like
I can tell.
through the entire run, it was her and her grandfather. And her grandfather always believed in sci-fi and space and met the Doctor. It was the greatest thing ever. And so she was like, she liked her grandfather. And so she's like, they were always together talking about it. But the mom was always like, sci-fi is the worst and everything's a lie. And like, you know, one of those like
So Mulder and
anti-science,
Scully.
anti-vax people probably.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
But that
I
took
don't
a
even
turn.
remember the
That
mother, to be
fucking took
honest.
a turn.
I remember the grandfather, but yeah.
So anyway, so like it's she's bang on to the character she was, and she
Okay.
sucked, but she had a role to play, and so that it
Right.
was fine, right? So like that all
The
makes
nag.
sense.
Yeah.
The neg, yeah. I mean, let's talk about the Meep. The Meep shows up. The Meep
Yeah.
is
Beat the
at
meep.
the start. The Meep is this cute, cuddly, white, dumpy bear thing that Rose finds behind a trash can.
What a poet you are, my friend.
I love that. That Rose finds behind the
Yeah.
trash can.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
That's what I'm here for.
But
Like
now
a
something you said,
unpolished
Matt,
turd.
actually explained the question that I had, because I was like, everybody's so okay with this fucking alien just being there. But if it's known, then yeah, that's
Yeah.
a little bit better. It's not the
Well, I mean-
first contact they have with aliens.
That's why Unit exists, right? And
Yeah, that makes sense.
all through Doctor Who, there's always been like an organization on Earth that's in England that's there to protect against. Historically, with David Tennant, it was Torchwood, and there was actually like even like spin-off series with Torchwood, and then they've gone as through the years they've kind of shut Torchwood down and they add a new thing and they shut it down, and so now we're at Unit as the company or the organization that's looking after the Earth, and so like you know like they kind of mentioned right like he was the first scientist in Unit or whatever.
Yes.
So there's-
Scientific advisor or
Right.
whatever.
Yeah. So it's always like someone like that in Doctor Who's world. So like whenever he's dealing with these things, he always has assistants, and so like the world's not really surprised. They still try to keep it under wraps, but in general, everybody's okay with it. So it's pretty par for the course. But the Meep itself lands and it's super cute and cuddly and talks childish gibberish, and everyone's trying to save the Meep. And then the Meep. When David Tennant decides to pull out a wig and become a
What the fuck was that?
A barrister? Is it a
Well,
barrister?
Yeah. Well, he's a judge, not a barrister.
he was
Sure, okay.
kind of Judge Dreading it,
Yeah, he was
Barrister
Judge
Dread, as it were, because he was
Breading it?
Dr. Dread Esquire is what he was
yeah.
doing.
Thank you.
Dr. Bread.
I don't know why the bread.
Why
we're not-
bread?
I'm not letting
well,
it go.
bread?
We're skipping it.
Barrister and Dread.
No,
Put it
off-
together,
No,
gentlemen.
that's
like-
awful. My brain didn't need
No, you're
this.
awful. Move
no.
on. We've moved
Barrister
on.
is his job, just like Judge, and Dread is
Yeah.
his name. You don't collide his name and his job
You don't
together.
call him Dread.
Yes, you do.
No.
Okay, I can do again. I can do it again. Barrister, Judge, Dread, 3
Okay.
equals
No, just
bludgeon.
Better.
Jesus Christ.
You know what? I'll take it.
Suckers!
I'll take it just so we can move on. I don't want to be here anymore.
Yes, forcefully.
So he shows up and he brings in the and everybody stay with me here, the Rarth. I don't have a
Nice.
speech impediment. It is WRARTH, Rarth.
Rarth.
And he asked some questions, and it turns out they are jailers, intergalactic
Yeah.
police,
Yeah.
and they are here to hunt down the Meep because the Meep is a monster. And then the Meep shows that it's a monster and goes completely monster mode. I wrote down jokingly, I was like, when's the Meep going to turn? I didn't actually believe the Meep was going to turn. I just thought it'd be a fun twist. And it was too
Right.
cute, right? But I was like,
It was
Yeah.
a fun twist. It caught me by surprise, I have to say.
You did a good job with that, with the animatronics and the puppeteering.
Yes.
It was cute.
Yeah.
They pulled that off. Until
And it was funny because you see the Meep and it's actually pretty decently made, but then they show the Rarth And it's like, holy shit, they're rubber suiting this hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They spent their budget on the Meep, clearly.
And the ship. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you gotta appreciate it though. Like,
No, they leaned into it too.
They go all in.
Yeah.
They leaned into the Rarth, and you're right. Like, they did what they did with what they had, and it's fun. It's fun.
It was fun, I have to say. Even
they look like Masked Rider, Japanese
Kamen Rider. They look
Rider.
like Kamen Rider. Like Kamen Rider.
And I was like, I'm here for this. Now kick the Meep, kick him, Rider kick.
I particularly loved when he pulls like the court is now in session thing, and the two Rarth guys were like super well spoken and very British. Actually, I have a question. Why does every fucking alien in this speaks like the Queen's English?
The TARDIS.
Yeah.
So as when you travel, so the Doctor, and when he brings humans with him, or like companions or like passengers in the TARDIS, the TARDIS sets up a psychic link so that it's essentially like a psychic auto translate.
Is this
wherever you go, whatever planet?
So is this like the Doctor Who version of the Babu fish from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy?
Yep.
Yes.
Or the Star Trek quote unquote universal translator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The techno bullshit hand wave that we all need. It's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
That makes sense.
I mean,
talk to Reggie about that.
It's fine.
Yeah, it was very fun. That scene was fun too.
Yeah. No, they did a really good job around that stuff. I have to ask about this, and because we're not going to cover it later, and I want to know now. So we find out at the end of the show, Rose, basically was daughter Rose was born from Donna, and we find out that she has a link to Doctor Who because of her downloading the Doctor information earlier into her brain. And I
the Metacrisis.
The Metacrisis thing, I'm not really sure because I thought it was a different Time Lord and not him, but that's not here nor there. Anyways, so she remembers all the stuff that Doctor Who remembers, right? And so that's how we find out earlier on the show that she is transgendered, so she picks her name to be Rose. So we find out she picked it because of Rose, because that was like a big companion for the Doctor.
I didn't even catch that.
And you can't pick your mom's name because that would be weird, I assume. And then we find out all these.
It wouldn't be the weirdest thing in this if she had picked her mom's name. So,
have you seen the U.S.? Have you seen what? No.
Anyway.
And another spot, they're like, oh, that explains all the creatures she made. Like she's making little creatures because her mom lost her job, so she's going to sell these creatures online to make money for the family, right? Yeah. Because they gave away $166 billion. Don't worry about that; it's not important.
Not dollars, pounds. It's even worse.
Pounds is right. That's even worse. And so all these creatures she makes, if you look at them, they're
from different eras.
Well, they're all monsters. So the Daleks and the Cybermen.
Okay. Right.
That Donna saw.
They saw. So like some of them are different eras because the looks change over the years, but they're all monsters that Donna dealt with. And so it's like, oh, that explains so much about the child, but I'm also just like, how fucked up is this kid now that she knows that like she's 15. That's already dealing with the fact that she's being dead named on the street by the kids she goes to school with,
and the
now
fact that she is 15. She's a teenager. Right. She has enough problems on her hands.
100%. And now she finds out she has all these memories of like all the monsters and horrible things that the Doctor's done over his career and all the companions, and she's like, I'm just gonna like the psychedelic. That's the star, the sun, right?
That's the sun.
That's my bad. Mm-hmm. But the psychosis or like the damage to her brain, is that why she has to take all these scary things and make them into cutesy animals because she can't process this shit any other way?
Are you saying it's the manifestation of her PTSD that she's making those toys?
Yeah, I guess.
Jeez,
one could say that. You know what helps? Getting laid.
She's too young.
Well, when she comes of age.
I mean, I think that at 15, you're allowed to discover things in the safety of wherever you need to be.
I know, but you can't rely on it as a means of therapeutic healing.
I mean, you probably shouldn't. That's fair.
That's what I'm saying. Is what I'm saying.
Wait till she gets the hang of it. It's a great stress reliever.
That's the problem, though. Until it becomes a stress reliever, it's a stress generator. Well, maybe not for women.
How have you been getting laid?
No, I haven't been 15 in a while, Chris.
Hey,
but
how about we just extract ourselves from a conversation we have no business conducting?
Okay, fine.
I don't know about that, but anyway,
you started it. We're just going along.
You have business. You know about this business.
I was 15.
Yeah, I was 15 too at one point, a long time ago.
That's it.
Anything else you got?
That's it.
That's all I got. Moving on.
Yeah.
Moving
I
on.
allegedly had sex as well.
Well,
Allegedly.
Hopefully not too often. Moving on.
Not often.
Oh my God.
Luciano.
Yes.
I think normally we do plot holes here, and there are a couple, but I think it makes more sense for us to turn this over to you as someone who's not watched a lot of Doctor Who and see if you have any questions. Because a lot of this, Chris and I are just going along with. I'm like, yeah, story makes sense. That's how Doctor Who operates. And so we may have missed plot holes because we're huge fanboys. So why don't you take over the plot hole section of this podcast and make sure we're not missing anything?
Okay. Yeah, I do have a few things. Two real main things that made me go, huh? So the first one is, what exactly was the Meep's plan? Because, hear me out, I'm going to lay it down, and then you tell me, it was a little bit, like, weird for me. So, he apparently was running away from the Rarth, I guess, who were trying to capture him as the last one.
Sorry, the Meep is Meep. There's no him or her.
I didn't say he. Did I say he?
Yeah, trying to capture him.
That's my bad. Capture them? Capture the? He
capture
says
Meep.
Yes. They say the Meep.
They tried to capture
the
Meep.
Meep says the pronoun is the, so I'll just say the Meep all the time.
Yep, thank you.
So the Meep was trying to, like, the Wraith were trying to capture the Meep. So the Meep came to Earth, and allegedly the ships were firing at each other, according to the Doctor. So the Meep got there, pretended to be nice. I don't understand why. And then when Barrister Dread was doing his thing,
Bludgeon.
the Meep decided to just go in, fuck this, I'm just going to reveal my whole personality, I'm just going to capture everybody and blah, blah, blah. And then when he had, killed the two Rarth warriors and had the solar psychedelic people surrounding the Doctor and the family, the Doctor is like, oh, how do you know the Rarth are not using me to outfox you? You can't kill me, because if you kill me, you'll never know. And the Meep goes, yeah, okay, that makes sense. Hello? Can you guys make it make sense for me?
Me personally, no. Not at all.
Okay, moving on. No, I'm kidding.
I want to. It's like the Doctor's usually really good at throwing up a conundrum that gives the villain of the week pause enough to be like, oh, wait a minute. What the fuck did you just ask?
Yeah,
me?
that wasn't it.
That
was a weak sauce gambit.
I kind of do want to know.
It was very weak gambit. It was like, oh, if you kill me, you won't know if they're using me to outfox you. And the Meep could have gone, you know what? If they're using you to outfox me, if I kill you, they can't use you anymore. Also, I killed all the Rarth. So
hear me out.
Here we go.
If you eat the Doctor, there's no more Doctor Who, and that's bad.
Why?
Because we like watching Doctor Who.
Oh, so it's like a meta plot.
Yes.
It's plot armor.
Even the Meep likes watching Doctor Who from their prison cell.
I see.
Mm-hmm.
10,000 years. Well, I mean, there's enough Doctor Who for him to watch for 10,000 years.
Bro. Not that. The BBC lost so many episodes. There's not that much for the Meep to watch.
They lost some of them.
Know the story? They lost like a bunch of the
master tapes.
The masters,
right?
yeah, because they didn't have good process and they just taped over shit.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Well, I didn't go looking. I just trusted that.
That's
they
why
had
there's
good
like a
process.
big hole in the middle, right? With the
Yep.
Okay, so what you're
wow.
saying, and let me just see if I got it correctly, is that the BBC is so powerful that even the Meep doesn't want the Meep's plan to interfere with the BBC
Correct.
and Doctor. Okay, I'm happy.
Psychic plot armor.
I'm happy with that answer because it makes 100% sense in some way.
Yeah, as Chris said, it's psychic plot
I see.
paper armor.
Psychic plot armor paper.
Is it
You're welcome.
Paper armor?
Sonic? Is it a Sonic plot armor?
No, it's psychic paper. Come on,
Okay.
get your head out of the
it's
ice.
psychic paper. Okay. Oh, they wrote the plot down, the script down on psychic paper.
It's psychic plot armor toilet paper.
Okay, and it covers your ass. See. I feel your pain now, Matt, because this is fucking derailing, and I have only asked one question. Anyway,
Right?
You're. This is the one you want to flag? Nah,
No, but
bro.
like, okay,
This is the one.
let's.
Yeah, go on.
If I wasn't going to use
cool.
BBC psychic
okay.
paper plot armor to answer this,
Yeah.
I mean, there's a couple of spots in this where they're and this is, so Stephen Moffat is back as a showrunner, and he did the David Tennant run as well, and there are times when I find that he as a showrunner likes to do things that are sweet and saccharine without making the logic connect, and there's a couple times in this episode where they do that.
Oh, the whole end, ending.
Yeah.
I got diabetes watching it. It was,
and so it's nice, and he hit some really good notes in the show throughout it. But in this situation here, I mean, I don't know. I think there are so many better ways than it's the reason. The idea that they should keep the Doctor alive because reasons is sound, but the reason he gives is the failure, right? Like it's like and they don't
the gambit that he played.
Yeah,
was not a gambit at all. Yeah,
no. I know, and
I would have believed. Oh, I was just gonna say I was expecting the Doctor to point out a vital flaw in the spaceship because he'd seen it before he met.
There you go. That would have made sense.
And then like your plan is never going to work, or like your spaceship is going to explode unless you let me help you, or because like the first thing he said.
Even if it was a lie.
Yeah, the first thing exactly.
Yeah.
The first thing he said after like his verbal diarrhea was like, "Great, I can suggest many other ways than like knockout." Pistol.
Yeah, and like to me, another thing that doesn't make sense is like, why was he? Because if he was sorry, I keep saying he. If the Meep was really hurt, then
hurt how?
Like really hurt.
Oh,
then they could have. Then
like,
it would make sense for the Meep to pretend that I'm so nice and all that stuff. But like it was a hand injury that didn't even prevent movement or anything. So it doesn't make sense that I'm just going to pretend I'm nice for reasons.
I think the Meep being nice makes sense up until she gets her soldiers back because she only has like a small gun and she probably can't shoot that many people.
Why are you saying she? It's not she either.
You're right. The voice is she. The Meep only had a small gun. And so the Meep can only shoot so many people with the gun. And she doesn't know that these people don't have weapons.
For she again.
Wow, that's fucking...
It's hard. It's very hard.
It's real hard.
Meep, 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 meep. Everybody saying meep, 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 the meep, the meep, the meep, the meep.
Meep, meep.
The meep.
Nice.
The Meep had a gun. The Meep can only shoot so many people. And so the Meep needs to stay undercover until the Meep gets reinforcements. Now, I don't know if the Meep knows... Because all the soldiers had convenient shield visors to put down after they got psychedelic. And so I don't know if the Meep knows that those are the Meep's soldiers.
Minions.
Right, but when the Meep realizes then... Well,
the Meep had to have known because the Meep like played it. The Meep revealed their true nature when they were in that car park, that underground car park. More than conveniently when the minions came in. So I feel like the Meep knew what was happening.
And like, also when the soldiers
minions have arrived.
When the soldiers
bitches, fuck y'all.
When the soldiers were at Donna's house, the Meep could have turned then, and it would probably have been a lot easier.
Ooh, yeah, because the Meep could have just walked out with the soldiers, right?
Fucking eat everybody.
Well, and this is the thing I want to know about. So the Meep eats people,
Apparently.
but is it like Hannibal Lecter eats people, where it's like the Meep eats a bit at a time, or is the Meep just unhinge the Meep's jaw and then
like a snake
swallow it whole? Yeah, a snake.
The Rarth say that they got hold of the Galactic Council and chopped off their heads and ate them. That's what they say.
So like the Meep can swallow. I think it's like portions.
Yeah,
assuming the Intergalactic Council is all humanoid.
Yeah, I think it's like Hannibal Lecter goes well with a nice Chianti sort of eat.
Well, I mean, it's more like fish and chips.
I would,
Guinness.
I would have liked to have seen the Meep in like a mini sort of Hannibal Lecter getup with the mask, and that'd have been funny.
It would have been nice to see the Meep just eat somebody or try to eat somebody just to get a sense of the Meep's hunger.
Bite a leg or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think they would have had enough time. Like the pacing, fortunately for this episode, was good. It was good, and I feel like if they dwelled too long in any sort of section, it would have dragged. And it's usually a fast-paced trajectory.
A 15-second scene before the reveal of the Meep trying to eat someone's leg and then being caught and reverting back to the good-looking, like the nice-looking Meep.
Oh, like the audience camera sees. Oh shit!
Yeah. That'd have been. What the fuck was that? Right?
Yeah.
But, okay.
They do that sometimes.
Okay. So I think we agreed that it was a bit lackluster in that sense. The plan. Well, hence being captured and now having to watch Doctor Who for 10,000 years. I have another question.
That's not a punishment.
Okay. What dagger drive? Who dagger drive? Why dagger drive?
Yeah.
How dagger drive? And more importantly, when dagger drive?
Well, dagger drive. That is the... Is it a... I guess it's not a Chekhov's dagger drive because they do use it.
No, because it's used, yeah.
I don't know how they reverse the dagger drive.
Yeah.
I do know how the dagger drive works because the doctor tells us that it basically eats up, what is it, like 50, like, is it square mileage he uses or like
he says
tonnage?
5 mile radius.
Yeah. So it basically eats up the Earth in a 5 mile radius to power the engine to escape. And then they tear up streets of London.
Yeah.
Pretty deep.
Once it's activated.
When it's activated. And it's like, it's about to leave, right? They're down to like the countdown's on like 30 seconds or something. So like, of the, was it a 10-minute or a 5-minute countdown to 10 minutes? So fuck, it went to like what, like 94% full dagger drive. Yeah. And then Donna shut it all down and put it all back into place. Like, why would the dagger drive work that way? Why would the dagger drive buffer London until it got to 100% and then burn it all? Like, it's clear, like it was like molten rock. Like, it was clearly burning it up. So I'm not sure how it unbuffered.
It burned, concrete,
scorched earth,
and literally scorched earth. It burned concrete. It burned asphalt. I was also very impressed how the fire that it was generating, like underground, conveniently followed the streets and didn't like cross through any houses that exploded them.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then when it was like, oh, we're done. Okay, let's return the resources we were taking back to...
Hi, Betty. Reset. Yeah. Let's take it from the top. Okay.
Reverse! Yeah. So, so my question is like, is it a normal space galactic time travel thing in Doctor Who for there to be self-healing asphalt, or
this one felt pretty forced in my opinion. It was too convenient, too easy, too MacGuffin-y, too Control Z, usually it doesn't feel that heavy-handed. Usually there's some repercussions, and they just don't necessarily revisit. Like there's an impact, but it's not, a cataclysmic Earth event.
Right.
Like on a damage scale, it's usually, I guess, with like more damage. I think larger events, planetary threatening events, usually take place off-world. So if like a planet is going to explode or a moon is destroyed, it's not in our solar system. No. It's usually elsewhere, where like it's. I mean, so this is kind of rare. They could have done, hence the undo.
Like they could have made so that there were like tremors going around in London as the dagger drive burrowed into the floor or the ground. Sorry, and like the place where they were could have just stayed destroyed. It was like an abandoned warehouse or whatever. Right.
Yeah. The steelwork. The steel mill.
The steel mill or steelwork.
It wasn't abandoned.
Well, it was by the time the ship was there. They evacuated. So like you could have like.
But they had minions. They had steelworker minions. Repairing and mending the drive.
But like it would have been if they wanted to show the destruction that it was going to cause. They could have left it contained before the takeoff. And then they wouldn't have to make the asphalt and the fucking sidewalks mend themselves, right?
I mean, I think that it's like you again, you want to have your cake and eat it too. You can either have the ship land in a space where it can eat up the sidewalks and doesn't have to land in what essentially was. I mean, I don't know where in London it landed because it felt like it was both downtown London, but in the industrial area that affected residential areas. So it's just like, this is a weird part of London I'm not familiar with.
It's London folding it on itself like Inception style.
Yeah, and so like you could have just landed, like because the central premise is that you want to be near Donna's family, right? So you could have just landed in a suburb, and you could have had some damage happen that could have been semi-permanently. Like they don't take off, so it doesn't eat up all the land. But the idea that it goes back and nothing happens is just. It's one of those things I can definitely see the writer just being like, no one will catch it. But it's just like, well, why'd you have to have the dagger drive? Couldn't it have, like, why did it have to go across? Couldn't it have gone down and eaten the resources up in a hole?
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, what if it did, like, you could have been established that if it did take off, it would, like, pull London, like, Sokovia style out of the ground.
100%.
Right? Yeah. And then it's like, okay, that's going to be bad. But just damage, like do the actual damage locally or like close to it as it starts powering up, right? Don't fucking make like cracks filled with lava, like snake through the entire fucking city just to make him go back.
The other thing I want to challenge the dagger drive on,
it's kid go in a way.
I want to challenge the dagger drive on the idea that this is how the dagger drive works, because I'm here for the idea that people who don't care about planets would do this. Yeah. But there's a large assumption that, like, and they didn't explain this, but like, okay, so how do you fuel the dagger drive by eating up resources? But like, it doesn't fly forever. It has to refuel. Yeah. So like, is this planet not bad?
It has to park in some moon somewhere to fucking fuck the moon up just so it can keep going.
Or find a big enough asteroid. Like,
yeah,
I would rather just have fuel so I could just fly around and like stop off and top myself up when I needed to, not find the right planet for resources to pillage.
This is like, what's the name of the Resource Distribution Association fucking thing from Avatar. Oh, yeah. It's like that level of stupidity, like scorched earth policy. We just consume a fucking planet where we have to take off. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a big deal.
Maybe, I mean, as malevolent as the Meep, reveals itself to be, part of me wondered, okay, well, is this its original spacecraft, or did they steal it from somewhere else? I don't know. Doesn't matter, not really, because they're the villain. It's just that this is how this one operates. So while it fits the Meep, at the same time, it's like, should it have?
But I'm not questioning the Meep having the ship. I'm questioning the ship's very existence.
Yeah,
I know.
Why would you ever design this?
Yeah. Can you imagine testing this, like the test runs? Oh, we have this new drive. Okay, let's test it. Well, which city we're gonna burn this time to test this thing. Like what? Yeah, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I hadn't even thought of that, but you're right. Like this is the one of those things where the idea seems evil and therefore cool, but then you stop to think about it for 10 seconds. You go, huh, that doesn't work.
So then, is the dagger drive the equivalent to like a shitty Cadillac? Like, or insert old vehicle that has no staying power. I can't think of one, but like just think of like an old vehicle with its fender, its rear bumper falling off, the muffler dragging against the ground.
What it is, Chris, is you're not quite far enough there. It's more like a coal-powered car. Because a gasoline car is just too clean in comparison to the dagger drive. So it's like if you use coal to drive your car.
I mean, it's more like an asphalt powered car that it eats the asphalt as it goes.
Okay, I've tuned into the frequency. This is like the Double Dragon fucking station wagon that you have to put garbage in order to fuel it.
Oh, I see.
Do you remember that travesty?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Only instead of garbage, you have to put whatever like place you're inside.
Yep.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay.
And not in a good way, not in like a recycling or helping the environment way. Like you put the garbage in and it spits out worse things.
It's like put the clean shit in and it spits out garbage.
Yeah.
I think in that movie they also had to shit in it too.
Yeah.
In order when times were tough, like they had a pee and shit jar, they put it in and it worked.
Man, that movie is so shit.
It was.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll cover it one day. We don't know.
No.
Okay.
We have
maybe timeline.
Timeline.
No.
All right, Luciano. Thank you for asking some weird questions that none of us Doctor Who fans would have ever come up with.
Okay.
Let's do our patented weird questions.
Oh, yay.
Let's talk about...
That was so enthusiastic.
Oh, I'm very excited.
Oh. No, for me. That was... I was playing you, basically.
Oh, thank you. You did a great job. Let's talk about Fudge.
I have a soul. It's hard to play you.
Let's not talk about it. We're talking about Fudge.
Oh, my God.
Fudge...
Get a room.
Fudge Merchandy.
Uh-huh.
He is the child that is friends with Rose.
Mm-hmm.
And we see him a couple times. He has a couple lines of dialogue with Rose. He takes Rose out to where the escape pod was in the park where the Meep escaped the first time. And then he is seen watching various things happen in the street. The Urarth fight the human soldiers. The dagger drive tear up the streets neatly, very conveniently. And he was loving that shit. So I got to ask you, is Fudge the real villain of this show?
I'd have to say yes. Yeah,
it's like a Fudge origin story.
He has like a delighted expression on his face as the dagger drive is fucking up his city
at the wrong time. He had the whole it's a wonderful life look on his fucking face, and I like the kid, but he was just like grinning and looking in awe out at the window during the alien solar psychedelic minion crossfire gunfight, and when the Earth was being split in two. So that tells me two things: one, he's the real villain, or two, the editor made a very weird choice in the cutting room, and his scenes were actually supposed to be used for something else.
No, I think
up.
What happened is the weird light solar psychedelic shit that got to the soldiers also got to Fudge.
Solar psychedelics.
Oh,
yeah. I think the little light solar psychedelics thing got to Fudge.
Soladelics.
And so they think that they captured the last of the Meep.
Right.
But the last of the Meep is actually Fudge now. And this is his origin story as a villain.
So Fudge is going to turn into a Meep?
Sure.
All right.
Oh, no.
Sure.
Oh, can you imagine? Can you imagine that conversion scene? It's like, I can't even remember how Meep's speech patterns was.
It's fine. It was actually pretty clean. Talked like a regular person.
But it would the physical
the Meep is
the physical transformation
nice
would be fucking the Fly.
Is it going to be the? Well, yeah.
So the
we should
the
cover that
cutesy
movie.
Meep was put on by the Meep.
Yeah.
And when the Meep was putting that on, it was very like childlike, or
very sort of like wimpy, whiny.
Yeah, and then when the Meep became the true self, then
bitch,
the Meep had perfect diction, but was a big old giant.
Yeah, and also
see you next Tuesday.
Yeah, they were. The Meep was whatever. The Meep was like red eyes, pointy teeth. It was like, holy shit.
So I think that Fudge is going to be a
human Meep hybrid.
Yes, a human Meep hybrid. Whenever the human son goes psychedelic, he will turn to a Meep.
What would how do we combine Fudge human and Meep? What's the new name? What's the hybrid new name then?
Mudge? Feep?
Oh, Feep? Feep. Feep.
Yeah.
Flap. Okay. Feep. I like Feep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Suitably non-menacing.
Meep.
The Feep.
Me man.
Feep me man.
Why does me man sound so wrong?
That's why it's right.
That's how you know deep in your soul is correct.
Yeah.
You know, you can't unhear it, and you're okay with it.
It's like, I shouldn't be saying that word for some reason.
That is a new entity.
All right, that's fair. More important question to the Doctor Who universe. Doctor 14, we'll call him, says several occasions
D14
that Donna Noble is his best friend. How do you think all the other companions that are alive or even dead would feel about finding out that all the work and sacrifice that they did was a...
And they don't even get BFF status. What is it?
He's got like a it's not like he doesn't even say one of my best friends. It's a hard. I got one.
Oh,
and it's Donna.
He says my bestest friend in the whole world. That's how he starts the episode.
100%.
Yeah.
That's tough to come back from as like, you know, an other companion who caught wind of that.
So I have a question as a
I feel so used
as a non-Whovian. Right. So do all of the incarnations of the Doctor have like a sidekick like Donna?
Yes, sometimes more than one at the same time.
Oh, that is a contingent of people to disappoint.
I mean, in Matt's Miss era, he was in a throuple with Rory and Amelia Pond,
but not Jared Leto.
What?
We don't talk about Morpheus on this podcast.
Okay. That's a lie. We did for an hour and a half.
It's a Morb-free zone. Well, but other than that, any other podcast is a Morb-free zone.
What you're saying is it's not Morbin time.
It is. It is not. It is not Morbin time.
Okay,
ever.
my bad. I misjudged the timing. I'm sorry.
I did a quick check. There's been 40 companions.
Oh my god! I thought it was going to be like
40.
10.
Well, no, not if you count like all the original Doctors and.
No, but those people are dead.
In the 1960s. 30.
Not necessarily canonically. Like
I see.
Like, for example, Rory and Amy Pond are just lost in time, essentially.
Oh, no big deal. They're not dead. Just lost in time.
Yeah.
Weeping angels. That's
but like, would they even recognize the 14th as a Doctor at all?
Yep. Oh yeah, 100%.
Okay.
Like it's varies, right? Like Rose herself is in a different dimension, and she can come back whenever she feels like it, essentially. But she doesn't come that often. She just shows up in episodes and it's like, I thought you couldn't get here. Anyway, it's not important. But she's in a different dimension. So in theory, the Doctor can't find her. Doctor can't travel dimensions most of the time. He can travel time all he wants. Dimensions is a hard thing. There's ways around it. It's like when superheroes die. There's ways around it.
I see.
And
can
then
you
guys
imagine a Doctor Who comic Is that a thing?
It exists.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, 100%.
It exists.
They have audio dramas, all sorts of things.
No, because like the insanity of the story
fiction.
fits so well with like how comics are written.
When you table insanity, it's creativity.
I don't see how they're not, they're not mutually exclusive. They can be both. Yes, it can. Yes, it can.
No, it can't. No, it can't. Listen, me man.
No, I'm not me man.
You are now you are now me man. You are wait. I got it. I have your new title. You are me man, scimitar of the patriarchy.
Wow. I don't have enough skin pigmentation to be fudge.
Wow.
Well, that's not the point. You are me man now. I
am not.
You've been penetrated by the meat. You're now a new entity.
Excused, please.
You cannot be excused. You are me man now.
Please.
No. You even me man. I'm sorry. This is what happens.
Please stop the world. I want to get out.
So coming back around to the companions, various things happen to the companions.
40 of them.
Some of them are alive. Some of them are dead. Some of them are different universes. It's all depends.
So
on
your
what's
question
happening.
was, how do we think that they would feel?
Yeah, like because there are some that won't care. Like for example, one of the companions for Tennant, he did he started off with Rose, and then Mickey Smith also shows up, and then he has Donna, and then he actually spent. That's right. So he spent some time with Martha Jones, and Martha Jones would be completely fine with it because Martha Jones thought they were like getting along with each other, and then they had an episode where the Doctor like gets lost in time and he gets a wife and is totally into her, and so Martha Jones realizes the Doctor was never interested in her, and she's like, "All right, I'm done. I'm getting the fuck off this ship," and leaves. So she'd be like, "Great, I'm out. I don't care." Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah,
but like other ones, that's a tough beat.
Like how I don't know the name
Rory
of the character,
Amy.
but like Karen Gillian.
Yeah,
that's
Amy Pond. She was married to Rory, but it was a weird.
She was always talking about
vibe.
banging. That's why they were a thruple, because she was always wanting to get in Matt Smith's pants.
Oh, I see.
So she might be okay with him saying, Donna was his best friend because she wants to be elevated above best friend.
Yeah. She wants that friend with benefits or that fuck butt status. So it's like, okay, well, I don't see the Doctor wanting to have laying relations with Donna. I don't see that.
It's only stand-up relations.
I was gonna
it's stand-up, not laying.
Jesus Christ. Relations. No
stand-up sipping coffee.
No horizontal rumba is what you're saying.
Well, I think
no.
Sorry, Chris. The answer I'm coming to is
no. They couldn't give a shit. Yeah.
I think most of them probably don't care.
Depends on who you're talking to, and unfortunately I don't my backlog exposure to past companions going from 1 all the way to 28. I just don't know how they would respond because Jack so Rose, different dimension. Yep. There was a dimension cross love thing there. Jack Harkness, who was pan. What is
pansexual?
Pansexual. Yep. He would have been offended. And he's like,
would he though?
Flair.
I mean, because he also wanted to be horizontal friends.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I think he would have played it up and like, but you wanted you can don't worry, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Don't worry. I know. Yep. I know you think about me, but when you go to sleep in your TARDIS every night. Moving on.
I have a question. The Meep was sentenced to 10,000 years in space jail.
10,000 years will give you a crick in the Meep me man neck. Moving on.
I'm not quite clear. Well, we know what the Meep did. Genocide.
He knows what he did too. They know what they did. The Meep knows what the Meep did.
Meep knows what Meep did. There it is.
The Meep.
The Meep knows what the Meep did.
Yes.
But I'm curious if the Meep, because 10,000 years is a long time, and I'm curious if the Meep was sentenced in the United States, what would the Meep get? Based on, we know the Meep tried to murder a bunch of the Galactic, what are they called?
Galactic Council?
Intergalactic Council. The Meeps generally were on super evil, murderous genocide of different planets and stuff. So what would the Meep have gotten in the United States? And, let's just make it this year. Make it easy.
So there's a couple of considerations that I think we have to make.
Right.
So the Meep's crimes were committed against some other entity. The U.S.
Correct.
probably doesn't give a shit.
I would say if the Meep is a leader of the Meep world, the Meep is rich.
Yeah.
Or powerful, at least.
Powerful. Almost like a Saudi prince, one would say.
Yeah.
Okay. So on that sense, the Meep might just get some reality TV contract rather than imprisonment. However, you must remember that the Meep is quite literally an alien.
Yeah.
And yeah, a foreigner.
We don't like aliens. Foreigner. Yeah.
we don't take kindly to your kind. We don't like, we don't even, so get out of here.
So there is
human
that, power. There is that.
Yeah.
On the other hand, the Meep is white. So we see ourselves in front of a conundrum here.
Really a conundrum.
It will require the Supreme Court to rule.
Yeah.
And, given the latest...
I said 2023.
So, here's what would happen. Clarence Thomas would invite the Meep to go on some billionaire yacht with them.
The Meep would pay for it. The Meep would buy... a house for Clarence Thomas's mom,
and then his debt to society would be paid.
So,
maybe a Stern talking to as well.
A year minimum security. I was good behavior in 4 months.
Yeah, like a year minimum security in a yacht.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That would be my. Yeah.
Yeah. And we're assuming that the Intergalactic Council was mostly Democrats.
Well, mostly foreigners, so who gives a shit?
That's fair. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't see any flaws whatsoever in your system.
Okay.
It's flawless, infallible.
I'm a regular barrister myself.
Are you? Can you say that on the podcast?
I mean, I think you did. I don't think it's legally binding.
Yeah. As a barrister, I'll tell you, it's not legally binding.
Thank you. He's got you there, Chris.
Shit.
Call me Barrister Me-Man Esquire.
Okay, I can't ignore or refute that, nor shall I. Barrister what? Barrister Scimitar of
Esquire.
Oh, Barrister Me-Man Esquire Scimitar of the
Patriarchy. No, I don't accept that. Moniker.
I respect your authority, Scimitar of the Patriarchy. So I think that if see, it's pretty cool that you went in the direction that you did. I was already brewing on reality TV.
Okay.
However, if I think the sentence in the US would be more along the lines of a lifetime sentence played out over the Real Housewives of Rhode Island.
Why Rhode Island specifically?
I had to choose.
Okay.
No, that's fair.
Don't ask why.
No, that's fine. It's a fine pick.
And there's gonna every year there's going to be an anniversary episode where they go to a pawn shop and then cross over with the pawn shop Pawn Star cast, and the Meep has to work behind the counter.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's harsh punishment. I mean,
yeah.
The Meep did commit genocide, so I can see where you're coming from as a barrister.
Yeah,
but
with the original cast, and they have to be retrained every single time.
Obviously,
not because of ineptitude, but because that's policy.
Just to make the Meep go through the instructional videos.
Instructionals, onboarding. It's more like the episode is like a 30 to 45 minute sitting, but the record time of it is like a week. For that training to be
so what you're saying is that if the Meep was being sentenced in the US, the sentence would be hell. is what you're saying. Like a literal living
In a manner,
hell.
yes.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, I mean,
If Mephistopheles was here, I shudder to think at
Chris,
could
did
try
you say
to, yes.
Mephistopheles?
Mephistopheles.
I said me-manistopheles.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
All right.
I'm glad that Mephistopheles can convert between being a devil and a Meep. It's very important for his line of work.
Everybody knows. It's in the Bible.
Everyone does know it is in the Bible. You're a barrister. You wouldn't lie to us. That's how it works.
No, I never. What do you think would happen, Matt?
I think that we would have to probably send someone to capture the Meep. I don't know if Dog the Bounty Hunter is still working in 2023, but I think he'd be the best person to track down the Meep. And I think because of the Meep's attitude, Dog is going to have to go full Judge Dog and deliver both the capturing and the sentencing of the Meep.
I am the law.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So Judge
Dog.
Dread Dog Dread
Barrister Dread.
Barrister Dog Dread
Barrister Dog Drog, because his
Barrister Drog?
Dog's mullet has grown to reach his ass crack.
Okay.
And the Meep has to braid it, but you still have to work dread in there. So Drog.
Fuck, Chris is dead set on sentencing Meep to hell. Like,
Yes.
Yeah. I was just gonna have the Meep off by Dog, but apparently now they're best friends. So I don't know how that happened.
That's not best friends. It's a sentence because Dog does not take care of his hair properly. He doesn't use any essential oils to help keep it moisturized, and so there's a funk to it. Plus, what do you think happens when your hair reaches your ass crack?
Chris, I don't have hair. I don't fucking know.
It's not about you. It's about punishing the
You
Meep.
just asked me, what do you think happens? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yes, you do. It smells like shit.
I was gonna say the head hair gets braided along with the ass hair together.
I don't want to be here anymore.
That's even better.
I don't know why you have to take my normal answer and shove it in someone's asse. It's unnecessary.
Also something the Meep could do while he's braiding Dog's ass hair.
God damn it.
Make sure you put the coconut oil in between the cheeks, because when you braid it, I want to make sure it's contained and connected.
Luciano, do you think Chris is showing any of the signs of solar psychedelia?
Yeah. I mean, he's been doing that since like episode 3. So
yeah, because I'm
just
concerned.
3?
Just 3. What do you think some of the symptoms of solar psychedelia are? But before you get to the murderous genocidal rage, I feel like you got to build your way up to it.
I see.
It is radiation after all, right? It just isn't. It's not like a 0 to 1 scenario.
Flash mobs is one. You begin to move in unison with your other infected brethren.
Is there Meeperin? There's no brothers or sisters for Meeps. They don't have.
I don't know. You said symptoms. I'm just trying to identify shit.
I like Meeperin.
Meeprin, sure.
Meeprin. Yeah.
I think that the symptoms are fine. You just have to use the correct
terminology. Yeah.
But does the terminology matter? Like when it happens to a gendered portion of...
You brought the Meeps up, so you have to refer to them correctly.
Yes.
If you want to talk about humans, then you can gender them all you like.
I was thinking in my head, about the affected humans, and at that point, but it doesn't
it's the
matter.
Meep.
It's okay. Then what do you mean it's the Meep?
They are the ones who suffer from solar psychedelia, not humans.
Yeah.
Humans suffer from many other psychedelias, but not
you said what are other symptoms? And sorry, I was playing it out in my head and using the scene where those soldiers were affected.
The only known sun with solar psychedelia is the one near the Meep home planet.
What you're saying is you're culturally appropriating the Meep's disease.
Wow.
How dare
That's
you?
not yours.
No.
That's the Meep.
Exactly.
Dare you?
Shame on you.
No, shame on you. You're the one who did
Shame
it.
on both of you. I didn't know.
Yeah, you did.
Those soldiers were casualties.
You can't use ignorance.
Flash mob.
Yeah,
you can't use your ignorance.
I said flash mob.
No.
Yeah.
I said flash mob. And it's not ignorant.
And then you said brothers and sisters because you assumed it was humans. And now you're
I wasn't talking about the
appropriating
Meep. I was talking
disease.
literally
Exactly.
when I was going with not the Meep.
For shame.
You
No,
appropriate
for shame on you.
You appropriated the Meep's disease and made it for the humans.
You don't get that's not appropriation. You get affected by the disease.
Wow.
But humans can't be affected by solar psychedelia.
Yeah.
Did you see the episode?
No,
Did you watch this episode, Matt?
No, that's not the same thing.
That's not.
No.
That is possession.
You want another scenario?
That's possession. That's not a symptom of poisoning from solar psychedelia radiation.
Okay, then that's different. Okay, I see it now. I was thinking
We're
about.
sorry, listeners, for Chris's cultural insensitivity.
Fuck them. Fuck them. Every time, fuck them. No, I don't give a shit. I'm trying to understand. The mental model I had. No, shut the fuck up. The mental model that I had was based on those soldiers that got affected, and then they moved in unison. That was one of the symptoms. Listen, I was focused on that. I wasn't thinking
but that's
about
not psychedelia.
You had the symptoms wrong. You had the symptoms wrong. Also, you can't say fuck our listeners because they're the people who listen to the show.
Have any.
Well, we don't anymore. After you told them to go fuck themselves.
No one. I didn't tell them to fuck themselves. I said fuck them. But no one's gonna hear it anyway. Anyway,
I'm gonna yes and this disaster.
Thank you. Someone save us.
But I think before the flash mob symptoms, everybody turned to mimicry. So they all turned into street mimes.
Are you? That sounds.
So then, after they're all
like
mime.
a co-opt of my flash mob.
Yeah, I'm yes ending.
It's yes ending. You son of a bitch.
Okay, good. Well, I'm very heated right now. I'm very heated. Keep going. I like
being
it.
Heated.
Back me up.
Being heated, third symptom of having solar psychedelia.
Yes, and yes. I'm hot right
basically,
now.
it's basically the equivalent of menopause, but for meeps.
Meepapause?
Meepapause.
I'm not. After having been in a recording of Barbie, I am not going to touch that one.
That's fair and wise, and I'm not that wise or fair. What else happens? So I have a
lack of awareness.
I have a kind of a question because they say psychedelia, not psychosis. Psychedelia. So is it like being super high?
What's akin to delia? I don't know where that's
because
psychedelia
is like things that happen when you're hallucinating.
Psychedelia is a word,
as far as I know. Yeah,
or a sci-fi word.
No, because it's a word. It's a word from the 60s at least.
Psychedelic,
baby. Yeah.
Yes.
So,
exactly. But psychedelia,
yeah.
I've never heard. Okay.
Psychedelic states or psychedelia are arrays of experiences, including changes of perception such as hallucination, synesthesia, altered states of awareness.
There you go.
Etc.
So
they're interchangeable.
It was solar psychedelia. Talk about being blazed. Then, holy shit.
So it's like solar weed.
Yeah. But can you imagine if when it's just regular psychedelia, you're hallucinating, you have synesthesia, so you're like tasting colors and smelling letters or whatever the fuck happens. But then it's solar psychedelia. Like how fucking blazed do you get when the sun is giving you psychedelia?
I would have loved there to have been a cutscene of how the Meep were first affected and how they laid waste
like an Austin Powers hard cut into the Meeps being blazed out of their skull.
The way I see it is the Meeps are standing around in fields, just hanging out, doing whatever. Maybe wearing little business suits and business dresses, whatever.
Power pants.
I imagined it now.
Suit pants.
Right? Suit pants. Yeah. Got the blazer with a pointy shoulders.
With the shoulder pads.
Padded? Oh, the padded
shoulder. Whatever you want to wear. And they're all just going about their business, doing their thing. And the solar psychedelic sun pops up and starts radiating them. And the first thing they do is almost like when cats have catnip. They start rolling around on the ground, pawing at things, pawing at each other.
Pupils fully dilated.
Pupils fully dilated. First, it's all real sexy and fun because they're just getting the taste of it. And then, it goes from being sexy and fun to a Meep having a gun and shooting another Meep. And then you're like,
it's
you
a different
pan
kind of mob.
cut.
It's like different kind of mob.
Yeah. And then you basically like you do like a fast pan cut away, and it's basically like Terminator 2 Judgment Day, except it's all meeps.
Yeah, okay.
Meep.
Like that. I'm imagining that scene that Sarah Connor always imagines of her on the fence and like
Yeah.
but
And
just
the swing
all of that
set
with
and-
meeps.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, little meep skulls being crushed by giant meep robots.
And and the explosion and getting burned. Talk about being blazed again.
That's a solar blaze right there.
Yeah. Okay. I think we've nailed it. I think
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Anyway, so don't
Good
do
work,
solar.
boys.
Don't do solar psychedelics.
Yeah, it's bad for you. Say
Bad.
no to
Drugs
solar
are bad.
drugs.
Drugs are bad. Okay.
Solar drugs are bad. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, quick question. You're the TARDIS. Someone is clumsy with coffee.
Wait, what did you call me? We don't use that word anymore.
You're the TARDIS.
He keeps repeating it. Stop saying that word.
You don't want to be what? Oh wow, the acronym: time and relative.
This guy's trying to do it from his head, his brain, like a crazy person. He's been on too many
Time
solar
and relative
psychedelics.
dimension in space. No, the D is not dimension. Time and relative D in space. I can't remember the D. That sounds terrible.
Time
but
and
Annihilation.
relative dimension in
Dimension.
space.
I got it right, but that okay.
That was pretty close. That was impressive. I just thought you were,
Making it up?
slurring me. But that's
No.
So you are the thing Chris just said,
nice save.
and someone accidentally quotation
Air
marks
quotes. Hard air quotes.
hard air quotes spills coffee on your console.
Accidentally tips
Accidentally
the mug and tosses coffee at you.
tosses coffee everywhere.
All over your electrodes.
What would be your
Wobbly
reaction
bips.
to this situation? Are you gonna punish? Are you gonna flip out? Because the TARDIS here has decided to put them anywhere in space and time, as the Doctor tells us.
Right.
But
Because
do you think
everybody
Donna
knows
learns a lesson in this scenario? Like, will it not happen again?
Nah, I don't think she learned anything.
Yeah.
I feel like because if you had a cup of hot coffee spilled on your groin, that's you don't choose what to do. Like the immediate reaction is like pain, and you might jump up. So I think that's what happened to the TARDIS because like that's what it does.
It caught on fire,
So what
It
you're
caught on
saying,
fire too
and then it jumped up.
What
Yeah.
you're saying is that
through time and relative dimension in space.
that area of the TARDIS where she clearly tossed her coffee on purpose was the TARDIS's groin.
Yep.
Okay, that checks out. Okay, and
Okay.
so then the jump up is moving anywhere in time and space. Is that's what we're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Relatively.
I see. I would just, if I was the TARDIS, I would just kill Donna.
There you go. I was gonna say if I was the TARDIS, I would move myself through time and space with the Doctor, but without Donna.
Yeah.
So Donna would be at that point, I guess, like they were at Earth, but then TARDIS was malfunctioning. So from here to from Earth to wherever the next episode is going to be, Donna's just somewhere in between.
Yeah.
in space.
Chris, you say
In space.
malfunctioning,
In
but that's the
space.
TARDIS isn't malfunctioning. The TARDIS is punishing,
Yes.
meting out justice.
It would be.
That's what it will read on the manifest.
It knows what it's doing. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, the logs would say it was a malfunction. Yeah,
It was an
that makes
initial
sense.
malfunction, and then like TARDIS was still traveling through time and relative dimension in space. And then once the initial burn was like the fire was still raging, and then it's like you if we compare it to like coffee on your groin and you jump up, by the time you're upright and like patting yourself down, trying to like get through the pain and like shuffle away the liquid, the hot liquid. I imagine if you compare that to a TARDIS, point A to point B, at some point you're I guess this is a mega oversimplification, but you're still TARDIS is gonna reach anger at some point and do those calculations at an incalculable speed, leaving Donna in space to rot as a frozen bagel.
I mean,
I think
you
she's a
did
human.
not. Did not need to go to those lengths to explain the fact that the TARDIS would just take vengeance, righteous and rightful vengeance on Donna.
We got to make sure that we paint a very colorful picture for the audience.
Blink to some moon in fucking Saturn, and then blink away from there and leave Donna there.
Mm-hmm.
There.
How does the TARDIS turn Donna into a bagel?
Timey-wimey science.
Oh, he's got me there.
Yeah.
Damn it.
No arguments. It sounds scientific.
Shit.
It sounds scientific to me.
You're a barrister. You would know if he was lying to us.
Yeah, no, I sense no deception.
Fuck.
My
All right.
barrister senses are not tingling.
Your barrister, where did you get your barrister training from, good sir?
He was bitten. He was bitten by a radioactive barrister.
Yeah, I was.
Oh,
And
was
then
the
I
radioactive barrister a graduate from DeVry?
Yeah, sure.
Wow. Yes, obviously.
DeVry
Community
Institute?
college.
Yeah.
Was it the Louise Guzman DeVry Institute of Higher Barrister Learning?
Yes.
100%.
It was Luis Guzman himself who bit me.
Whoa.
Yeah, he's the radioactive barrister. That's correct.
Yes.
Louise Guzman knows the law and passed the bar?
Yeah.
Well,
Oh my God. I'm so sorry, Louise Guzman.
listen, we've surprisingly covered an hour and a half of Doctor Who for 1 hour. I'm surprised we made it this far. I think
But
we
are you
answered
really?
all of our questions. Yeah, now he's reeling. So thank you for sticking us out here. We do a review of the things we watch. Normally it's movies, but let's put a review rating on this bad boy.
Sure.
Chris, do you want to start first? S
Sure.
tier. S is the highest. F is the lowest. Put it somewhere in that range.
Okay, so for me, I feel at a disadvantage because I want to put respect on the previous Dr. Jodie Whittaker's run. And I feel very displaced in time, literally.
Hey, nice.
You know? So for those reasons, I want to give it I don't want to give it a B, but I think I will give it a B because Donna was more annoying than she should have been. So maybe she was rusty. And then by the time she got to the end of the episode, for me, she was rusty in the beginning. And I was like, thank goodness there are other people here. I don't just want to deal with her and the doctor like this. Definitely an enjoyable watch. It was jarring. Like things looked right, but as I said, something was a little off, and that off was early Donna in this episode. But everything else was the way it needed to be. It's classic Doctor Who beginning, middle, end, and resolution, except for that fucking dagger drive, and we covered that. And then Me-Man impregnated Fudge Child was a wonderful, confusing area that still baffles and stymies me. So yeah, I'm gonna stick with B.
How did Fudge come into your ranking? He was in the fucking TV show for like a minute and a half.
When you have lines, you are on my radar.
All right, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
Luciano, good luck.
Yeah. Well, I needed good luck going into this. So, as the one here who had never seen anything from Doctor Who, I have to commend the thing as a whole for being like, I could follow it, which is...
I thought you were going to commend yourself just now. I have to
No.
commend myself.
I'll commend myself for understanding. No, the recap at the beginning and the way that the story flowed. Like, yeah, I probably missed some references, like the Rose thing, for example, but it didn't take away from my enjoyment of the thing. It's not like it's sci-fi at its wackiest. I have to say, probably one of the wackiest things I've ever watched in terms of sci-fi that isn't just an outright comedy. Meant like it's not Spaceballs, but it's also not that far.
Mr. Schwartz.
Yeah. So I love David Tennant, so that gives it points right away. I hate Catherine Tate, so that takes points right away. And really, she was really annoying in this. Like I said, I wasn't sure if it was just me not liking her or if it was the character. It sounds like it's a little bit of both. but I enjoyed it. Would this make me watch more Doctor Who?
Yes.
Maybe. Would I watch this again? Probably not. Not unless I started watching Doctor Who and I wanted to kind of watch it with fresh eyes from learn. So like this to me like is definition of a C for me. Like I enjoyed it. It was short, so it didn't overstay its welcome. The acting was pretty much good except for Catherine Tate. And the story, as wacky as it was, I could follow it even without knowing the whole series. So solid C.
I think your opinion would change of Catherine Tate if you seeing what you've seen. I think it would be easier for you to forget this run as Donna if you decided to go
the
back
original run,
and see her original run.
That makes sense.
Like that made sense. Their chemistry was great. They were whip smart back and forth.
Right.
I liked that run with Donna.
Yeah.
Matt.
I give it an A. I don't have a problem with how Donna operates in this show. Donna operates within the parameters of Donna, and you can not like Catherine Tate, but she's acting fine. This is how Donna roughly was. She was always very like over the top, bombastic, extremely passionate to like a fault. Like the idea, we didn't even cover it, but the whole $166 million giveaway thing, that was Donna. Like Donna was always like emotional to an extreme fault. Right, like it didn't make sense. It was like overly emotional for no reason on things. So her character makes sense to me. I had a fun time, a little saccharine at points, like overly saccharine at points where it didn't need to be. Tenet's fun. I like all the money that they clearly got money from their Disney deal and they're spending it to make the show look nicer and make it more enjoyable. So it was great. I had a great time. Love to see David Tennant back. I'm excited to see where it goes. So for me, it's an A. When watching a TV show, it's hard to say how much I rewatch it because in general, like it's harder to rewatch TV shows. But at the same point in time, the format of Doctor Who makes it easy. It's the Monster of the Week format that I miss a lot. A lot of sci-fi shows or TV shows don't want to do that. It's got to be dramatic story from 1 to 8 or 10 episodes that is like very
a whole
integral.
Arc, right? Yeah,
a whole arc. And so because Doctor Who doesn't have arcs, it's easier to come back. But for me, I would definitely watch this again. I'm excited to see where it goes. So it's an A. It's not an S because it's like there's better Doctor Who with David Tennant. There's better Doctor Who with Donna. Honestly, if we had to watch the storyline we were talking about watching, that to me would
End
have
of
been,
Time.
End of Time would have been an S rating for me.
Yeah, it was. It was.
Maybe I'll watch that then at some point.
Yeah,
you should, but then the weight of it. I don't know if you'll get. Not that you won't get it, but the weight.
I know. I understand what you mean.
Impact of it, dude.
Yeah.
Like
it's so
rob
hard.
yourself.
Yeah,
okay.
It's so hard to come in because like there's probably some episodes you can watch that give you more of the weight because that show's about the Master, which is like he's another Time Lord, and it goes into the Master's backstory, but you need a little. It's almost like you need to watch the other episodes with the Master and Tennant before you get there to kind of understand their back and forth.
I see.
Because he might be okay. I think he might be okay. Because the first time Master shows up was not during the Eccleston run. Eccleston first, and then Tennant showed up. They didn't. I don't want to spoil anything in case you do, but like I think if he started beginning of Tennant run or beginning of Donna run, he would be fine.
Well, I was just saying you're adding way more stuff. I was just saying watch the Master and David Tennant episodes. You don't have to watch all the episodes. As long as you watch ones with the Master, because like they are self-contained, right? So like the Master arcs will give you the history of their back and forth and why that whole ending is meaningful. But if you want to watch all of Catherine Tate's run because you hate yourself, then do that too.
No, I don't hate myself. I hate her. It's different.
Well, same difference.
When I talk about the weight, I'm talking about her family. I know what you mean, but. To like pinpoint Matt, like there's also the people around. There's the other supporting characters like Grandfather Wilt.
Yeah, it sounds like the stuff that happens in that special affects a bunch of characters that you have to kind of form a connection with by watching the other stuff.
Yeah, I just don't think you need to watch every episode. That's their point.
That makes sense.
Okay.
All right. Well, anyways. I'm probably not going to watch it, but I'll keep that in mind if I do.
Good talk. I'm going to erase everything we just said so it doesn't fucking matter. Moving on. Next week, we are back to a movie.
Oh.
And we're gonna watch 2023's Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
Yay!
Nice.
We figured we'd do something a little less new. Surprisingly, I was gonna say more new, but this is less new than what we just watched.
Yeah, this is the newest thing we've watched, I think.
Yeah. This is the second movie in the set of the Across movies for Spider-Man, the animated film. So we're going to do it. We're going to have a different format, though. We're trying to mix things up this month, so it will not be the standard movie format, but spoilers, we're not going to tell you what the format is. You're going to have to listen.
Are you going to tell us what the format is?
No. Why would I tell anybody what the
I'm
format
just
is?
asking. Listen.
Oh.
No one gets to know. It's a secret format.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
All right. Cool. And maybe Spencer will be back. Who knows?
Oh, okay.
Who?
For now,
Huh?
we will see you next time. We're done. This podcast is over. I've ended it. Goodbye.